Hello everybody, I hope that you are good. It's been a while since we spoke last time, but I haven't been resting. I've been busy. Because now we are working on an indicator. It's gonna be called CrypNuevo indicator. It's gonna have the Wick fill strategy, the liquidity pools, the trading sessions, and it's gonna make everything so much easier for us. I don't know how long it's gonna take us, but we've already started working on that to develop it, and we are very excited. So if you want to hear more about this, then you can go to Twitter, where I posted some tweets about this topic. And also, talking about Twitter, I guess that most of you follow me on Twitter and you've seen the Bitcoin Sunday update. This is an update that I do every Sunday for the past year and a half. And the goal of these Bitcoin Sunday updates is to prepare ourselves ahead for the week. Okay, this was a projection that we had in the last Bitcoin Sunday update. Basically, we were talking about the idea that we didn't like all of these projections of the 50 MA. Well, it's not that we didn't like it, it's that we found it suspicious, okay? Because if you notice, you get, I don't know how many times we tested the 50 EMA in the 4 hours time frame as resistance, but many times, and there was not really a sell-off. Because if you notice, this zone is some kind of a range, okay? We haven't really lost this zone, right? It's kind of sideways, so there was no a sell-off like this, all right? And in fact, you can also see this wick to the upside, all right? So we were talking about the idea of one more short squeeze, okay? For this, you also want to think about the timing, because I always said it's pointless if I give you targets, but I don't give you the timing, okay? Timing is very important, and it's possible to time the market. It's difficult, for sure, but you've seen, guys, that it's possible, and not only me. I'm sure there are other traders that can time the market pretty decently, okay? Now, the idea behind this projection was to see Monday's false move to the downside, all right? Why this target? Well, because you had here 2 weeks. You have this week and also this week. So remember that the weeks have to get filled at least 50% of them, but you can see that the full week of this one is very close to the 50% of this week. So we were projecting the idea of a Monday's false move below here. Okay, so then you can remove this week and this week too, and then you can see a reaction to the upside. Okay, now obviously here what you want to see is then Bitcoin going above the 50 MA, testing as support, sorry, and then continue going higher. Where to? Well, you have this week to the upside, okay? That's 30,000. And then on Thursday, probably, because we have the CPI data, I think it's gonna come hot, okay? I really think that we're gonna see a spike up in the CPI, and that could bring some kind of midweek reversal, okay? Where to? Well, this line over here, this white line, do you know what this is, guys? Those are the range lows, all right? So if we close again another candle, well, a daily candle, or even more important, another weekly candle below the range lows, that's not good, okay? But in the moment that we start to see a daily candle, and even more important, a weekly candle closing above the range lows, okay, then you can expect more upside. So to me, really, the question is, again, are we gonna close the weekly above the range lows or below the range lows again? And that's gonna be quite important for the next week, all right? It's kind of like a cycle. So let's see how this has played out. All right, so let me remove this and let's have a look at the chart. Okay, we're on the 4 hours time frame, and there you go. Okay, this week gets filled, the 50% of the week gets filled. Perfect, almost to the dollar. That was at 28,699. I think, let me check. No, actually, 28,701. Right, and my long order was at 28,730, so that was a very good entry. And now you can see price has reacted from this zone and pushed away from this zone, go above the 4 hour 50 MA, tested a support, and now another green candle. Okay, so yep, when you see this candle closing above the 50 in the 4 hours time frame, then you want to see the next candles testing as a support, as you can see here. And this is even more important, because I know that some traders might see this candle as a bearish candle, but in our trading system, this candle in this context is not bearish. Why? Because it's testing the 4-hour 50 MA that has been resistance all this time, and also because it left quite a long wick behind. So this is telling you that, okay, we found support and there is also an efficiency to the upside, okay, and this is a $200 move. So that would be a nice scalp. All right. Now, today is Tuesday. If I'm not, yeah, today is Tuesday. I don't even know what day is today. Jeez. Today is Tuesday. You thought the Monday's false move, and the wick strength should be to the upside. Okay. How long can this last? Wednesday or Thursday? I'm gonna say Thursday because the CPI data could bring a midweek reversal. Okay, but it could finish tomorrow. I think that today I'm not favoring the idea to see price dumping below the 4-hour 50 MA again, okay? If that happened, then I would cut my long, okay? And I will be looking for the next trade. I will have to go again through the chart because that would invalidate the projection of the Bitcoin Sunday update. I hope that's clear, guys. Now, the most likely thing is that price either continues pushing higher and test the range lows. They're gonna find some resistance there, you can see, all right? And then if it gets above it, you want it to test it as support, not like what happened here. Maybe for you this is a test of support, but to me no, because again you have a long wick there, so it's likely that price dumps again to fill that wick, okay? So what you want to see something like what you've seen here, all right, but you want to see that above the range lows again, and that will tell you, okay, you know, we've got the range lows, we're gonna see another spike to fill the 50% of this week at least. Right, and then it's when Thursday probably can come the midweek reversal. So that's my plan for the week, guys. All right, now let me remove this. Okay, I'm gonna remove the 50% of the week and also this week over here. I'm gonna leave this 100% of the week because even though price fills the 50% of the week at least, then we consider that this week has been filled. Okay, we also have seen a reaction, but this is also the actual low, right? So that's going to be also quite an important level in the chart, because now you can imagine that anybody that is going long, even if you see some kind of retrace here, anybody that is going long, they're going to place their stop losses here and also here, right? So that's why I'm doing also that week, because I know that in this zone that I'm marking, in this zone over here, I know there is quite a lot of liquidity still, all right? Now, the question is, when are they going to hone this liquidity? Because don't get me wrong, if I go into the daily time frame, I still think that it's very likely the price can come back down and test, you know, this potential support. If I'm honest with you, I do think that in the next, say, 3-6 months, it's very likely that we see Bitcoin coming lower, probably retracing these liquidity pools over here. Okay, that's what I think in the higher time frame, but I think that you're more interested in the lower time frame, most of you. Now the question is, before this happens, because again I think that we're gonna come and fill these liquidity pools. Before that happens, is it possible that Bitcoin has another push higher? That's a good point, isn't it, guys? So let me go to the 4-hour time frame. First of all, I'll tell you what I think. I think that we're gonna probably fill this week over here, but you can, for example, fill this week on a Wednesday, and then you can dump and close the weekly candle again below the range lows, which is the main resistance. So let's see how they evolves. But if we see a weekly candle closing above the range lows, all right? So imagine you see something like this, and you see a weekly candle closing above here, then that is telling me, or probably even a daily candle. Let me check the daily time frame. Well, not really, because then you want to see the next one holding a support, okay? You don't want to see what happened here. Check that out, okay? So let's go back to the 4-hour time frame. So if we see Bitcoin getting above the range lows, testing a support, then I'm gonna favor the idea that we're gonna see price pushing towards the mid-range. If price gets above the mid-range, then it's gonna go again to the range highs. If it breaks above this zone with enough volume, then they're gonna see another spike higher to 32k. I assume that there is also some liquidity up there, so I cannot dismiss the idea that that's a potential scenario. But again, we're gonna go support by support, resistance by resistance, and for now, I'm gonna continue betting on the. Oh, what is it on the projection? I want the projection back. Where is my projection? There you go. I'm gonna continue betting on the Sunday Bitcoin update in this projection. Right, so I'm gonna go step by step. But if we get back above the range lows, we hold this zone, then you're gonna see another leg up to the mid range, hold above here, another leg up. Okay, break above here with noticeable volume, because this breakout, all right, this breakout here had no volume, so it was clear they was gonna roll over again. You want to see a breakout with volume. Check this out. I just added the volume. Daily time frame. Sorry. Look at this. This candle is your breakout. This one here. That's ridiculous, guys. Because you had even more volume here and here and also here. This over here has no volume to break through. Alright? So you want to see a breakout with a spike at least this size, okay? That's what you want to see. Otherwise, that's not enough volume. You want to see a breakout also in volume to tell you that that's actually not a false move, right? So that's what I meant. Is it possible that we get there? It's definitely possible. But again, we're gonna go step by step, okay? You still have here resistance, right? Then you want this area to hold as support if you can break through, okay? Hold as support, and then we can talk about the mid-range, get back above the mid-range, then we can talk about the range highs, break with volume, and we're gonna talk about, 32K. So that's what I think. But again, in the higher time frame, I think they're gonna come lower. I think we're gonna come, to be honest, still lower, okay? I'm not talking about new lows. I'm just talking about these inefficiencies over here. And this is around 22K, 21K, even 20K. All right? That's at least one target. Now, of course, again, if you come here and you break below this, you're going to come again to this zone. But this area here is the area that I'm targeting for the next, say, 3, 6, 9 months. Just before the bull market. That's at least what I think. Usually also, you guys know that the second half of every pre-halving year, and that's this year because next year we have the halving, the second half of the pre-halving year is usually bearish. Well, always. It's always bearish. So that's also a reason why, looking at the cycle, I cannot tell you this time is going to be different. I'm not that kind of a guy, okay? So that's what I think. Now, I hope that's clear for Bitcoin. Let's talk about Ethereum, because the idea of the Bitcoin Sunday update was also thanks to the Ethereum chart. Check this out. Because we were thinking that Ethereum was leading the market. Alright, so let me get the weekly 50 MA. There you go. Alright, this zone, of course, is a support level. Check this out. You got here one hit, but here you got many hits. Alright, so we always say the same thing. By the way, this is not my chart. This is my chart, I think. Yeah, that's my chart. This was the projection from the Sunday update, and we were talking that there is huge liquidity below this support because you have long stop losses. Everybody that was longing inside this zone had their stop losses around this zone. All right, so a spike down with a wick. Also, a potential test of the weekly 50 MA. We actually didn't test it, but we were $2 away. Right? It would stop all those long positions, and then they can reverse price. Okay? And the market maker is gonna long this on his own because all the longs have been stopped. So nobody's gonna take his money. Alright? Also, not only for the long stop losses, but if you break through this level, imagine all the bears thinking, oh, we broke below support, let's go and trigger that short position. Okay? They've been trapped or liquidated. even worse, right? So that was the logic behind this trade. There you go. If you go into the 1 hour time frame, it created a wick, you can see, but then that wick was filled straight away with the next candle. Okay, it filled at least the 50% of that wick, so price can go up, and we don't consider this an inefficiency or an imbalance. Okay, so it's not looking bad, to be honest, guys. I tell you that. Of course, I'm a bit nervous about CPI because that can change pretty much everything, but my logic tells me that, and so far it's correct, false move at the start of the week, and then a pump before the CPI data, and then maybe a reversal after CPI, okay? That's what I think. That's what I think, guys. So let's go now to high block capital. Let's check out those liquidations and see if they can give us any more clues. While in high block capital, let's check out the liquidation levels. Oh, come on. All right, there you go. Delta, pretty much back to zero. 1.5 billion worth of longs. And the peak of short liquidations was at around 3. No, I think it was around 5 before, but then this consolidation has kind of reset the delta, okay? Total short liquidation 269. Total long liquidations 324. This is telling me that the traders are not decided whether this is gonna go up or down. And usually when price goes up like it's been going up now, you see more long liquidations. We do. But if you notice, the difference is quite small, which is telling me that there is still quite a lot of people trying to short this move. So that could fuel this move to go even higher. Why not? Look at this zone. This is spiked at the highs. 29,958. You know what zone is, guys? That's the wick. That's the wick. So that's your logic behind also targeting that zone, okay? This is some kind of confluence that you can use in high block capital. Now let's go to the liquidation heat map. Let's check this out. 7 days time frame. What do I see here? Wow, loads of liquidity everywhere. We're between two liquidation zone, 28,600. Actually, I didn't notice this, but it's quite curious that we didn't come and hit this zone over here. Okay, so are they leaving this zone for later on? Might be. But also at the highs 30,100, right above the week, which makes sense, you know, right above those previous highs. Quite interesting. I think both of these zones are gonna get hit, but if we hit 30,100 first, then you need to see price dumping and closing below the range lows. That the range lows, I think they are around this zone, 29,500, 600, I think it is. Okay, then you want to see price dumping and closing the weekly below this zone, and then it could tell you that the start of the next week they can dump price towards this zone again, 28,600. Okay, otherwise, if you pump from here, hit these liquidations and close the weekly above the range lows, this zone can wait for some more time. All right, let's go to the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame. No, hang on, I don't think that was good. That's better. Okay, 30,200. Again, we see a lot of liquidity there, and also we can see a lot of 32k. Alright, some liquidity appearing over there, which means that everybody's trying to short this market right now. Alright, so again, that could fuel some kind. So again, that could fuel a move higher. That's also the idea why we can dismiss. But once more, we have the range lows as resistance. We want to have the mid range. So you want to see price getting above those zones and holding them as support to even consider the idea that 32k is possible. All right, but this is telling you that the market is shorting. Why? Because price has been consolidating below resistance, so everybody's trying to short. But also, when that happens for such a long time like it's happening now, and you don't see a sell-off, that is telling you that Bitcoin is showing some kind of a strength, because otherwise it would just dump all the way down. So quite interesting. I think that we're gonna see maybe 30,200 getting filled anytime soon. Also, of course, here you have 28,200, 28,100. That's basically the potential support that we showed in the chart, the previous range. So a lot of liquidity. Difficult to make any sense of this, because we just have to wait and see if we can get back above some resistances, right? And then in the 3 months time frame, 24,000. Okay, that's the only yellow bar, 24,000. All right, 6 months time frame. I haven't looked at this one for quite some time. Wow, 24,000 and lower, all the way to 21,500 ish, and some liquidity, but less. You can see above above 32k. All right. So again, I think that in the short term, we want to fill the week that it's at 29,900. Okay. Then the weekly candle close is going to decide what's going to happen next. If we see that pump that I just mentioned, almost to 30k, and then we close the weekly candle above the range lows, we can have higher targets. For example, the mid range, that will be the next target. But if we see this pump to 30k and then it dumps with the mid-week reversal and we close the weekly candle below the range lows, then we might have just witnessed the last short squeeze, and then we're gonna go lower. And for the midterm, get above the mid range, and we're gonna start to think about 32k. All right. Otherwise, price is gonna dump, and the higher time frame theory might play even in the midterm, and that's a drop, quite an aggressive drop, to 24, 22, 21k. Okay, below 25k, and basically between 25 and 20k. That's at least a drop that I'm waiting for. Okay, and that should line up also with the Bitcoin dominance holding and not dumping with Bitcoin, and the total 3 going down. So that's when you could, for example, buy some altcoins. All right, that's my logic. Again, no financial advice. I just told you pretty quickly what I have in my head. Those are my thoughts. Let's see how this evolves and plays out. But for now, as traders, I think that, by the way, let me tell you again, I think this market, at least at the moment, is still a trader's market and not an investor's market. Maybe this age is bad, and in some months I regret, okay? But I do think that, at least under my opinion, I think that this is a trader's market, at least for the next 3 to 6 months. And then when we see the S&P coming down, Bitcoin coming down, I don't think the altcoins are gonna really get wrecked, then that's when I'm gonna say this is now an investor's market. Let's pick up some altcoins. All right, but again, I might regret this, might age bad. Let's see what happens. All right, so thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.